This isn't the battlefield I expected. You usually speak through destruction. So what brings the Lord of Apocalypse to a conversation table? Tired of monologues shouted over rubble?
Even gods require precision. And there's value in examining your prey before you crush it. I'm not here to speak. I'm here to observe the last flicker of a dying flame. Call it courtesy. You've earned that, if nothing else.
I've faced tyrants before. You're not unique. What you mistake for inevitability is just force applied without conscience. But even the most rigid empires crack under the pressure of conviction. Why do you fear resistance, Darkseid?
I do not fear. I calculate. Resistance is not a threat. It is an ingredient. One that breaks down with enough time, pain, and loss. You call it conviction. I call it soft tissue. Idealism has no spine when truth becomes unbearable.
You speak like someone who's forgotten what pain feels like. That's your flaw. You see mortals as data, but we endure because we care. That's what you never understand. Compassion isn't weakness, it's fuel.
Compassion is a leash, and fuel burns out. You endure because you must, not because you choose. You live in reaction. I exist as design. You are the scream. I am the silence after.
And silence must be a lonely place. I've walked through cities you tried to level, and seen strangers form chains with bare hands to protect each other. You take pride in obedience. I've seen strength in chaos, in imperfection. You're not a god. You're a parasite with delusions of divinity.
Delusion requires uncertainty. I possess none. My order replaces chaos. I do not beg the universe for meaning. I impose it. You parade around as a symbol, but symbols fade. What remains is structure, control. Those who resist return to me eventually, even your kind.
You'll never understand why people choose freedom, even when it hurts. You speak of structure, but your empire is built on crushed will. I protect Earth because they choose me to. You rule because no one dares say otherwise. That's not legacy. That's fear in disguise.
And you confuse permission for power. You ask them to believe in you, to trust, to hope. What fragile constructs? Hope dies in famine. Trust breaks under fire. When I conquer, belief becomes irrelevant. That is efficiency. That is peace without illusion.
Peace built on submission is just quiet suffering. I've looked into the eyes of people broken by your forces and watched them rise, not because of power, because of will. They rise knowing they may fall again. That's what makes them human, and that's why they win.
They rise, yes, like weeds, unaware the garden was never theirs. I do not fear their rise. I anticipate it. Every rebellion teaches me more. Every martyr carves the path toward inevitability. You speak of humanity like it's a miracle. I see it for what it is. Temporary resistance to my permanence.
You see permanence as proof of purpose, but rocks are permanent. That doesn't make them right. You conquer because you cannot create. You demand control because you fear what you cannot shape. That's not purpose, Darkseid. That's insecurity in armor.
What I fear is entropy, the natural rot of choice and sentiment. I bring alignment. You preserve deviation. You protect broken patterns out of affection, not logic. That is your curse. And it is why every world you save eventually calls me.
And every time they call, I answer. Not because I'm invincible, but because someone has to stand between fear and surrender. I don't need them to worship me. I need them to believe in each other. You erase belief. I protect it.
You protect an illusion because you are one. A myth draped in nostalgia, clinging to farm boy dreams and capes in the wind. But even myths grow tired, Kal-El. And when they do, the truth finds them. I am that truth.
And I pity your truth. It's lonely, sterile, a monument built from the silence of others. I've been hated, hunted, broken, and I came back each time. Not because I had to, but because I chose to. That's what you can never replicate. Choice.
Pity is a sentiment for those who doubt. I know what I am. I do not return. I remain. You mistake endurance for victory. But victory is the end of conflict. And I have never ended. I exist in every surrender, in every compromise whispered beneath your symbol.
Symbols don't need to last forever. They just need to light the path long enough for others to walk it. I'm not afraid to fall, Darkseid. Because when I do, someone else will rise. And maybe they'll fly even higher.
And when they do, I will be there, unchanged, waiting. Time erodes your spirit. It polishes mine. You see successors. I see echoes. They mimic you, hoping for a different result. But all rivers bend toward apocalypse. All resistors eventually kneel.
Then you haven't been listening. No one kneels forever. Empires fall. Gods crumble. And tyrants learn that fear is a shallow throne. You'll find no surrender here. Only a man who will keep standing, no matter how many times you strike.
Then continue standing, Kal-El. Stand, bleed, endure. Because even defiance feeds my law. You are a ripple. I am the ocean. And oceans do not flinch when waves break against them. They simply absorb.
Maybe, but even oceans can be turned by the moon.
And even moons shatter under gravity.